And welcome. It's 11 o'clock. It's our first interview with a local yogi, a local because I'm here in Western Colorado with Jody. She's a good friend of mine. And we've done a little bit of work together. It's been nice. Um, Jody and I had a lot in common. She lived in Albuquerque for a little while, and I have some grandkids in nearby vicinity, and we have some other things in common. Let me tell you a little bit about her. So yes, she's currently living in Western Colorado. We live in Grand Junction, Colorado, and she's the proud owner of Yoga BizCraft. She is experienced in a lot of things, and this is one of the things we had in common because we've reinvented ourselves and enjoyed life doing a bunch of different hobbies. She's done Nordic ski instruction, aromatherapy, personal assistance, graphic design, fitness instruction, specialty coffee, and of course, yoga teaching. Right now, she's making content for yoga teachers to move. And because of all her business, all her different business experience, it's like all these things are coming together to help other yoga teachers. So welcome, Jody. Nice to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I'm looking forward to the creative work you're going to share with us today. So first of all, how did you discover yoga? What led you to yoga and then to teaching yoga?
hmm Well, I was, oh gosh, this was like back in the 80s. So, 100 years ago, it seems like. And I was managing a very stressful business. And I had happened to see a flyer mentioning yoga somewhere. I don't even know where I saw it, but I'm sure it mentioned relaxation in it. And that's what caught my eye. So I decided to go. And this was in Fairbanks, actually at the fairgrounds. And I had no idea what to expect. I'd never taken a yoga class before. And I don't even really remember much about it except for the end when we had Shavasana, and it was amazing. And all that stress just left my body, and I just felt very calm afterwards. And so that to me was like, wow, um, how could that possibly have happened? And I need more of that. so so I became a student of yoga, and I decided that after some time that I loved it and I wanted to share it with others. And so that's how I decided to become a teacher.
Very
And that
good.
was,
Where did you do
yeah,
most of your training?
in California. Actually, I trained with Gabriella Hansen. She taught the equilibrium method of hatha yoga and more toward the therapy realm, not therapeutic yoga, but more therapy aligned. And so this was in Southern California, and I did my training there with her. And then I did some training later with her, and then just different teachers over time.
Mm-hmm.
And and then of course after a while, after many years, sort of developed my own style. And but I still train. I consider myself to be a student of yoga. So I certainly don't know it all. But I love to keep learning about it.
A true yogi's mindset, always discovering, knowing that there's more to unfold. Very
Yes.
good. Yes. Um, so how did you start to get into the yoga education part of it? I know my experience with you is doing a couple workshops, and I loved it, and I loved your approach to it. I love the fact that you intentionally named it a fun shop because
hmm
of that same quality that you're mentioning. You do the shavasana and you come away a whole different person. So at least in the two classes, the two workshops that I did with you, they were in fact fun, knowing that you could make some advancements and it's not always hard work. And
hmm
I could tell some of the people who were in them, who signed up for them, had never done yoga. And it was thrilling for both of us to see them come away kind of like with that whole, in that feeling like, I'm a better person after an hour. And I had a lot of fun. And I grew with the people that I did it with. I don't know. It was amazing. So what made you leap from workshops to actual yoga education?
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a couple of things. I actually had been in the education realm for a while, but it wasn't my primary thing. It was sort of like in the background. I was working on it, just developing programs, and then two things happened. I had a health crisis, and I wasn't able to teach in person, and COVID, and so I pivoted at that point because, sometimes challenges offer opportunity.
Yes.
And so I pivoted and decided that I would full time then just focus on the business part of the business that I was working on, the yoga BizCraft part. And so that's really what tipped the scales for me, was, to really go at it full time and with a full heart.
Yes. And this is another point where we connected, because like with the workshops I did with you, it was like some of this stuff needs to be shared with other people. And COVID, and by doing things online, giving us more time inside to work on these things. Yes, I see that the network, the things that you're sharing, they need to be out there and seen by the rest of the world. So I noticed that you have the stuff that your business, the stuff that you have in the store, is really inspiring. I see that you have a lot of various yoga teacher tools. Now, me being in the education world, we call them things in our toolbox, like ways to start a class or ways to calm down students. And I'm talking the academic education part of it, but I've noticed you have really taken the idea of having a tool and brought it into the yoga profession. What inspired you to have, things that yoga teachers could use and workshops that they could do? Can you mention a few of them?
A few of the workshops?
Yes.
Sure. Well, there's one in particular there. I've got non-business related programs, and then just strictly, fun shops, learn shops, workshops for teachers. And so one of the fun shops, or I would really call this one a learn shop, because I think it's very different and interesting. I had taken a sound healing course, and from that's where this sprang. So it's all the seed of an idea, and then, left brain, right brain, a little bit of OCD mixed in, a lot of creativity, and then, off I go. And so this workshop is finding your soul frequency, and it's based on using sound, the scales. You use a keyboard or piano, and using the scale, you find, for anyone that's participating in this particular learn shop or fun shop, depending on how the teacher wants to approach it, and if it's a standalone or if it's part of a retreat or whatever. And so you use this specific technique for everyone to find what tone or what chord or what note that they vibrate with, that most resonates with them. And then they can once they find this and know what it is, then they can use that through music, through chimes, through singing bowls, through those, I don't know, I can't think of what you call them, but they are a little thing that you blow and you tune your guitar or something to it.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tuning.
There's yeah, so there's just all kinds of little ways that a person could, once they know that, then can use that sound to then just center or balance. I could have used this right before our interview. Um, just to center and balance. And so I think that that's pretty, it's a fun, it's very unique, it's different. It's not something that you would see necessarily, in a
True.
yoga
It's the only one like it in the shop. And
Mhm.
I've noticed it's popular too. A lot of people click on it. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because
Yes.
this, to me, what you have brought to the shop is like you mentioned something about processing it, right brain, left brain. It's like you get the information and then you synthesized it, and then you were able to bring something unique to the yoga world. And I'm just hoping that this type of thing starts to take hold, and other teachers will maybe take that course, buy it off of YPY from you, and then make it their own in their way. Like you mentioned in the class, it'd be fun. It could be academic in a yoga teacher training. Yes, excellent.
That's right. Yes.
So, do you have a favorite that's in the shop?
The favorite that I always have is the one that I'm working on now. Um, but I would say that one, that's why I think that's probably why I mentioned it and talked about it, was the Finding Your Frequency Learn Shop or workshop, because that was, it's so different, but yet it very complementary to yoga, I think. And you can use it in so many different ways, and it's not hard. You don't have to, there's no math involved. It's not, dry or boring.
Yes, I
Yeah.
totally get that, because being back to the education world, if you ask any student, anyone in orchestra or band, what their favorite note is, they're like, oh, they actually have a favorite. If you ask even a mathematician, do you have a favorite number? They're like, well, right now, but I don't know. It's just we do get favorites, and so it
Yes.
and it just, I would wonder in future research, as we start to bring together the metaphysics with the physics, if we can somehow, because kids can easily say what their favorite note is.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And they're
Mhm.
really, and like your favorite color, but right now it's this color, but it might change. So yeah, I think someday future research is going to come out with that. And thanks for leading the way with that.
Oh, sure. Oh, you bet. Thank you.
um, So, what advice do you give for yogapreneurs, people starting out, branching out from, say, just teaching classes in the studio or classes online,
Mhm.
which is, we need that and everybody loves it. And maybe we're ready for the next level. That's why Yogis Pay Yogi is here, when we start sharing our craft with other people easily, conveniently. Um, what advice do you have for people, for yogapreneurs, to be a little bit more successful or conscious or anything
Mhm.
else in their business?
Mhm. Well, I think the first thing, the very top of the pinnacle, is to be authentic, and to not try to be somebody else or teach like somebody else or talk like somebody else. Is that every individual, whether they're teaching yoga or not, has gifts to share to the world, and those gifts are unique to that person. And to try and deliver it like someone else would rather than your authentic self is really cheating the students out of receiving what you have to offer. So
Beautiful. Can
authenticity.
you, one second, can you repeat that word, austere? Is that what you used?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Oh, okay. Yes.
Yes. Authenticity. Yes. um, so that would be the first thing that I would say. And you know, it takes a little while after when you start teaching really to kind of discover who you are as a yoga teacher and all those kind of things. But that comes, and being yourself is the most important part of that. I would say that as far as the business aspects of it are concerned, when a yoga teacher is like ready to, as you say, put on wings and fly a little bit, away from just maybe just teaching group classes all the time, is to there's 6 what I would consider to be pillars of the yoga of business. One is your mindset about money, because there can be some in what's considered to be a spiritual practice, money can be well, let's just say a dirty word. And but to have a business, you need to make money. You've got to pay the bills, right? So exploring the mindset about money is important. Secondly, is to know who your ideal students are, and then to perhaps even go even further into that and teach in a niche segment. How to brand yourself. And I know that sounds like, you know, like Heinz ketchup or Pepsi or Coke or something like that, but you can have a personal brand that doesn't, you know, as a small business. And
Well, I noticed that you have honed in on that, and with the authenticity piece, having your brand, you know, it sounds like a funny word, yes, but yet it's like acknowledging your gifts that you're going to, at this stage of your focus, give to people. And I've noticed you using those same metrics in how you give the things that you've come up with that have been so helpful. When I run another yoga teacher training, I'm going to be totally different because of some of the stuff in your shop.
oh,
because there's so much clarity there, and there's so much clarity in the process. Like some of those worksheets give you time to write, it give you a way to focus and write out and think about where you're going, is asking the questions in a nice order so that there's clarity.
yes.
Yes.
Clarity is important.
And so those are the 3. Are there any more?
Yes, there's also marketing, which can be another, you know, word that people don't necessarily like, because it can be, you can associate that with like used car salespeople or, you know, sleazy stuff or whatever. And so mindful marketing is what I teach. And yeah, so it's really marketing with integrity and being honest about what you're offering and not exaggerating, you know, what you have, and you know, just developing a way to speak in a very quick sentence about what you offer. And so the last thing is how to create your signature programs or packages so that you can, you know, produce more income, and which I think a lot of teachers would like to do. So those are really the 6 things that I expound upon and teach with my business.
Excellent. And you've lived it. Your signature, you know, getting the inspiration and how to make it into a signature product. Perfect. So how can we contact you online? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can through my my website, which is yogabizcraft.com, and that's biz with a Z. And or email is yogabizcraft@gmail.com. And those are the 2. I would say through the website is probably the fastest, easiest way to contact me. And there's a contact form there. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Very good. Lovely. Because people like to be inspired by, you know, and great minds, you know, come together and evolution happens. So I'm really excited. I feel like you've really brought a new level to marketing, to business, to being clear about your intention and what you're bringing to the yoga world. And thank you for it. So, what does freedom mean to you right now?
Yeah. Freedom means to me, I'm just going to give you one sentence here. Freedom means to me that I can be myself and do what I want to do, when I want to do it, and how I want to do it.
Yeah, wonderful. And I think this is a great place to be in, great season of your life where these things are coming together and you're offering things, you're doing it on your own time, and I appreciate you sharing all of that with us.
Well, thank you. I very much appreciate being part of Yogi's Pay Yogi, of the of the collective, and my collaboration with you, and offering, I'm thankful for what you offer on that website, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. I think it's a very valuable service, and so thank you.
Thank you. Thank all the yogis who are trying to make this place a better world. And I do
Yes.
think we yoga teachers, each in our own way, are guiding some spiritual evolution in each individual, which only evolves the whole. So thank you so much.
Mhm. Thank you, Terry.
See you another time.
Okay.
I appreciate you being part of the flagship video interview. Somebody had to get us started. So.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay.